The outpouring of support is growing here for federal workers impacted by the shutdown. A number of food distributions were held across South Florida today. CBS 4's Joan Murray has details. She is live right now in Fort Lauderdale. Joan.
Well, there's a lot of help pouring in and going out, including this truck full of goods that's going to be headed to Opa-locka to help hundreds of Coast Guard workers.
Volunteers from South Florida Muslim groups making quick work out of their mission to feed hundreds of Coast Guard families who have been working without paychecks for over a month. It's part of an ongoing effort to help South Florida federal workers struggling to survive during the partial government shutdown.
One of the golden principles of Islam is the caring and the sharing. We cannot go to bed unless we check with our neighbors if they have food to eat or if they're hungry.
In Miami, TSA security screeners from Miami International lined up for vegetables, canned goods, and milk on Thursday, courtesy of the nonprofit Feeding South Florida.
It's just really about making sure that those that are keeping us safe and secure and protecting us are also secure in where they're going to get their next meal. A lot of these families really don't, actually all of them don't have any income coming in, and we want to make sure we can put food on the table for them and their kids.
Feeding South Florida also sent a truckload of supplies to distribute to federal prison guards in Miami. The food is enough for a few meals, but a lifeline for families who have no income and no savings. The head of the Coast Guard took to social media to echo the frustration of everyone waiting for something to break the impasse in Washington.
We're 5+ weeks into the anxiety and stress of this government lapse and your non-pay. You, as members of the armed forces, should not be expected to shoulder this burden. I remain heartened by assistance available to you within the lifelines and by the outpouring of support from local communities across the nation. But ultimately, I find it unacceptable that Coast Guard men and women have to rely on food pantries and donations to get through day-to-day life as service members.
Again, this is going to Opa-locka tomorrow for Coast Guard workers. The Muslim groups say they have raised close to $20,000, and they're going to continue with these relief efforts as long as the standoff goes on. In Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.